So why do we choose pigs and breed millions of them and make them a food animal and treat them differently from all the animals that we think of as non-food animals? Where is the justification for the idea that pigs are food? All the pain and horror that we inflict on these poor pigs is based on what? Oh, you may say it's based on taste. So maybe you acknowledge that eating meat is unhealthy. Maybe you acknowledge that it's devastating to the environment. Maybe you even acknowledge that it's cruel to the pigs, but your argument is pigs are very tasty, so I want to go on eating them. I just love the taste. I'm sorry, but I have to say that's an extraordinarily stupid argument. Let's get into why that's so dumb. Let's delve into the many ways it's stupid to eat animals simply because you find them tasty. I'm addressing this to any people who may actually think that way. First of all, has it not occurred to you that taste is an adaptable thing? Have your tastes never changed in your life? Your taste in music, your taste in movies, your taste in books, your taste in foods? You can cultivate a taste. It's within your power. It's part of being a human being. They've done experiments with salt, for example. You put people on a low salt diet, and after a short period of time, they no longer like the salty foods they used to eat. Foods with just a little pinch of salt suddenly taste as salty as the truly salty foods they used to eat. It's the same with fat. Go on a healthfully low-fat diet for a couple of weeks, and you won't be able to stomach the foods you used to love. I can tell you that as a kid, my favorite meal was McDonald's burgers with fries and a chocolate milkshake. If I ate any of that now, it would taste horrible to me. I'd want to throw up from the fat and salt. I've grown up. My tastes have evolved. As a child, I used to love to eat spare ribs in a Chinese restaurant. I was eating pig. I still remember the greasy taste, and just the thought of it now makes me sick. So since we can cultivate our tastes, why not cultivate taste for food that's nutritious? Why continue to eat food that's going to make you fat and sick and shorten your life? You say, but I love spare ribs and I can't stand tofu. To which I would answer, who cares? Why would you choose to eat the food that's likely to make you fat and sick and shorten your life? I mean, if you're legitimately suicidal, please reach out for help. There are hotlines. But if you're claiming that you're not suicidal, but you just enjoy the taste of meat, come on, get real. Understand that by eating meat, you're effectively behaving in a self-destructive or suicidal way. Do you not like bean burritos? Do you not like pasta, portobello mushrooms, potatoes, sweet potatoes, corn? Are there no fruits you like? No vegetables? If you don't like any vegetables, then grow up and eat some vegetables until you find some you like. I'm no longer attracted to the taste of fat and salt as I was, like I was when I looked forward to a McDonald's meal every Sunday as a child. I can now appreciate savory flavors that probably meant nothing to me as a kid. So I have no respect for any argument that meat eating is justified by someone's taste. It's appallingly stupid. You have a taste for grease? Get over it. Grow up. It's not good for you. It's like saying you love the taste of cigarettes. Who cares? It's going to kill you. Many people who quit smoking cigarettes come to hate that taste and smell. They'll tell you they used to love it and now they hate it. To stick with food that you know is going to kill you when you've probably never even given your taste buds a chance to evolve to appreciate healthy food, that's not a respectable strategy for living. That's just remarkably foolish. My wife and I once went to a trendy vegan restaurant in Los Angeles that had something of a celebrity chef. A lot of vegan celebrities dine there. We looked at the menu and everything was deep fried. Not all vegan food is healthy, after all. We couldn't find anything to order that wouldn't be terribly greasy, so we told the server that we didn't think we could order anything, and she said she'd bring out the chef. So that celebrity vegan chef was very nice. He came to our table and said very politely, "What seems to be the problem?" We said we didn't eat deep fried food. We wanted to know if he could make us anything that wasn't fatty. He said to us, "Fat is flavor." No, it isn't. Every delicious Spice you can think of has flavor, and spices aren't fat. Every delicious fruit has flavor and barely any fat. Fat is not flavor. Fat is a poor substitute for flavor. And so when this celebrity vegan chef told us that fat is flavor, I could only feel sorry for him. The man was in the food business and he was missing out on flavor. You're missing out on the beauty of food when all you aim for is the taste of fat. The idea that you're going to keep eating meat because it tastes good to you is pathetic. It's beneath you. It's shamefully stupid. If you think you love eating meat, let me guarantee you that my food tastes better to me than your food tastes to you. I say that with confidence because as a kid, I loved eating meat. And in retrospect, I know now that it tasted pretty awful in comparison to all the delicious foods I eat now. Does anybody enjoy going to the doctor, enjoy hospital stays, enjoy medical procedures, enjoy paying for them, enjoy battling with insurance companies to pay some of the costs? Do you have a taste for that? Why would you want to eat in a way to almost guarantee that these medical interactions will become the routine of your life? So if you say you eat animal foods knowing that they're unhealthy, but you're doing it just because you find them tasty, you have to ask yourself if you find hospital food tasty. Do you find feeding tubes tasty? I don't eat animal foods, and I almost never go to the doctor. I try to go once a year. It's like a personal tradition. I like to check in on my doctor and ask him how he's feeling. Whenever I go to the doctor's office, the staff asks me what pharmacy I use, and I say, sorry, I don't have a pharmacy. I don't need drugs, so why would I have a pharmacy? At the age of 67, I can say that I've never taken a pharmaceutical drug in my life other than antibiotics on a few occasions. I don't live the way most Americans live, with trips to doctors and pharmacies as part of their weekly itinerary. However, I have to confess that last year I made the mistake of sneezing, and that sneeze resulted in a hernia. The Whole Foods low-fat vegan diet is terrific. It's the best diet in the world, but it apparently does not protect you from sneezing your way into a hernia. So I needed to have an operation if I didn't want to live with the hernia. I chose what's called open surgery rather than laparoscopic. Open surgery is supposed to be more painful and require a longer recovery time, but I chose it because it avoids some of the risks of laparoscopic surgery. My local doctor wanted to do laparoscopic surgery, blowing up my belly with carbon dioxide gas and implanting a synthetic mesh in my groin. I didn't want any of that, so I drove 1,000 miles to a surgeon who would do open surgery without mesh. The surgeon cut me open in my groin, repaired my hernia, and sewed me shut. When I awoke in the recovery room, I said, there's no pain. I was surprised by that. And the nurse said, of course not. You're still under the effect of the anesthetic. Wait till tomorrow. Tomorrow came and there was still no pain. There was never any pain. I never even had to take an aspirin. I essentially recovered overnight. I was out on the town the next day. That's because there's no significant inflammation in my body. And there's no inflammation in my body because I don't eat dead animals or dairy products. That's the beauty of eating human food. When you eat dead animals and dairy products, you get inflammation because these substances are not human food. And the body is working to repel foreign substances that do not belong in your body. You can understand that if you ate a filthy bacterial-ridden piece of roadkill, for example, that would set off an explosion of inflammation in your body. Well, when you eat beef or chicken from the grocery store, it may be wrapped in cellophane, but it's still filthy and full of bacteria, toxins, and endotoxins, and it similarly sets off inflammation in your body. Your body doesn't know that you got it from a grocery store instead of the side of the road. It's roughly as filthy. It's probably got just as much bacteria as if it came from the road. Your body knows that it's not human food, and it reacts. When your body's on fire, you're more likely to feel pain. When there's inflammation in the body, it travels to all the tissues of the body, including the brain. We know that inflammation can bring on depression. We're the biggest meat eaters in the world, eating about 260 pounds of meat per year per person, and we suffer from epidemics of depression and suicide. Maybe we should consider if these two facts might be related. You'd think it would be at least worth a shot if you're depressed to stop eating animal products and stop eating sugar and oil and see if it improves your mood. I'm not claiming it's a cure-all for depression, but it's worth a shot if you're depressed. Clearly, the late champion of meat eating, Anthony Bourdain, never tried that. And it's a shame because he was a talented guy who was undoubtedly much kinder to humans than he was to animals. Anyway, because I don't have inflammation in my body, my surgery went very smoothly. I never felt any pain. I recovered right away. It left me with the thinnest of scars, and I've been able to resume work as an underwear model. If the only reason you eat animals is that you like the taste, I hope you understand now how dumb that is. Taste is a malleable thing. You can alter it. And you have to factor in the consequences of that taste and the likelihood that it will lead to an existence as a patient and as a consumer of pharmaceutical drugs for which nobody has a taste. Anyway, your taste is not the central question here, is it? Especially since we know that you can choose to alter your taste. The central question is moral, and no, I'm not talking about the morality of how we treat animals. That's a separate subject. I'm talking about the morality of how we treat other human beings, and particularly those human beings who you're closest to, your family and close friends. You have to begin by accepting the truth about the effects of animal foods on your health. People may not like to accept the truth, but you gain nothing by living in denial of reality. We've just gone through the facts very quickly, but again, the facts are not in dispute by anyone who is not a nut or a huckster. Animal foods are unhealthy, and if you eat them, those foods pose a serious threat to your well-being and to your longevity. They pose a threat to your cardiovascular system, to your digestive system, to your immune system. No serious informed scientist, uncompromised by financial interests, can dispute that. Once you accept that reality, you have to deal with the moral consequences of that understanding. You have to ask yourself, do you love your children? Do you love your spouse? Do you love your parents? Do you love your friends? If you love them, why would you engage in such a self-destructive behavior? Why would you harm yourself by eating meat? We all know people who gave up smoking after they got married or after they had children for the very same reason. They want to be there for their loved ones. And that's admirable, especially since quitting smoking is apparently very difficult for people to do when they've been addicted, as smokers invariably are. How can the same logic not apply to eating animal products, which cause more death and disease even than smoking? If you care about other people, you should give up meat and dairy, if not for yourself, then at least for them, so you can be there for them. Now, some people say that it's difficult to give up meat because eating meat is also in some way an addiction. But is that true? Clearly, nicotine is a far more powerfully addictive substance than animal fat. You're not going to face some terrible symptoms of withdrawal when you finally reject the stupidity of eating animals. You'll just feel better. And you're likely to lose weight if you need to lose weight, as long as you replace the dead animals with healthy, whole foods. Is it possible, I wonder, that some people say that eating meat is an addiction so that they have an excuse to keep eating it? I know I should stop it. I'm addicted. I can't help it. I think it's at least possible, flesh eaters, that the only thing you're really addicted to is the ease of not facing the truth and not having to change the foods you eat that you're accustomed to, and not needing to summon the guts to stand apart from your friends and relatives.